The year was 1926, and the railroads was mostly using the 42 mountain types, which were the most popular and most powerful steam locomotives on the railroads. However, like many steam locomotives, they were showing their age, and railroads wanted a new locomotive to haul both passenger and freight trains. So in 1926, the American Locomotive Company, or ALCO for short, had developed the first ever 484 rail arrangement, which would later be named Northern. Since the Northern Pacific was the first ever railroad to purchase these Northerns by ALCO, which in total 40 were railroad for the NP, they were given the name Northern, named after the Northern Pacific. 1 year later, we focus on one Western American railroad, the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe, or in other words, the Santa Fe. You see, the main motor power for passenger and freight trains were the Santa Fe 42 mountain types, which in total 50 were made. But however, like many of the steam locomotives from different railroads, they were beginning to show their age and also their problems. And the Santa Fe Railroad wanted a new and better steam locomotive to handle much heavier passenger and freight trains. So, for the solution, they decided to turn to the Baldwin Locomotive Works. At Atchison, Pennsylvania, which today is now Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Santa Fe Railway had paid the Baldwin Locomotive Works $99,712.77 for a new steam locomotive. And for the first time ever, the Baldwin Locomotive Works and the Santa Fe would get the first ever 44 Northern. Then came out Santa Fe 3751. As for the locomotive itself, it was built in May 1927 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works as the first ever Northern to be built for the Santa Fe and the first to be ever built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works. The specification being with a gauge being 4 feet and 8.5 inches, and the driving diameter being 33 inches, with her axle load being 33,000 pounds, and weighing 874,346 pounds. Her fuel type being coal. Her fuel capacity can hold 7,101 US gallons. Her water capacity can hold 20,000 US gallons. Her boiler pressure being 210 psi, which is now later changed to 30 psi later on in her service life. Her feedwater heater being a Wallington Type 6-SA, her cylinders being 2, her cylinder size being 30 by 30 inches, and her valve gear being the wall shots. Her performance, her maximum speed is over 100 miles per hour, with her power output being 3,220 horsepower, with traffic axle of 5,981, and the factor of 88 being 4.35. Santa Fe Railway had tested 3751 with one of the mountain type 482 number 3714. To see if 3751 is more powerful than the mountain types, they decided to do a 347.5 mile test run between Laguna, Colorado and Albuquerque, New Mexico. After the test run, it shows that 3751 is 20% more efficient and more powerful than the mountains in cases for the car capacity, ton miles, fuel consumption, and many more. The Santa Fe Railroad was impressed with 3751's performance that they decided to purchase 13 more Northerns for the passenger trains, but from later years they would purchase more Northerns. As for 3751 and her siblings, they were assigned to haul passenger trains along the Santa Fe division, with 3751 being assigned to haul trains like the Grand Canyon Limited, the San Diegan, and more. In 1936, the 3751 was converted to burn oil and was given a larger center that holds 20,000 US gallons of water and 7,107 US gallons of fuel oil 2 years later. And 3751 was also present at the grand opening of Union Passenger Terminal in Los Angeles on May 7, 1939, pulling the Scout, one of Santa Fe's crack passenger trains, as it arrived from Chicago. It was the first steam locomotive to bring a passenger train into Los Angeles Union Station. During World War II in 1941, the 3751, along with 13 other locomotives in her class, received major upgrades that included replacing the original 73 inches spoke driving wheels with 80 inches, ballpark wheels, a new frame, Timken roller bearings, on all axles, and many more. That same year, 1941, it achieved its highest recorded speed at 103 miles per hour. She would continue service hauling passenger trains for the Santa Fe until the 1950s struck. As many of you all know, the 1950s means the rise of diesel power, or in other words, dieselization, as diesel locomotive companies like EMD or General Electric have begun making diesel locomotives for the railroads, and this includes the Santa Fe. So this individual and his siblings still continue working for the Santa Fe Railway, and even sometimes helping diesel locomotives up the grade, as seen this image of 3741 helping train number 23, the Grand Canyon Limited, with a pair of FG8s and FGBs behind the steam locomotive. But however, it looks like her days on the Santa Fe came to an end. 3741 continued hauling passenger trains for the Santa Fe in her final years on the Los Angeles division, until finally she and her siblings are starting in the process of retirement. And on August 23rd, 1953, the locomotive was officially retired from revenue service and placed into storage at Redondo Junction. As the days, weeks, months, and years go by, one by one, 37 siblings will be retired at each specific date. Looks like it's the end of the line for these Nordens. However, 2 years later, February 6, 1955, on this very special day, one of her members, 484 number 3759, was brought up in retirement at the request of the Railway Club of Southern California to run a special excursion dubbed Ferro to Steam. This excursion was a round trip between Los Angeles to Boston, California, with stops in Pasadena and San Bernardino. It was the last ever Santa Fe revenue train to be powered by steam. After the excursion, the 3759 was sent back to storage again. Now back to 3751. On May 14th, 1958, the Santa Fe was kind enough to preserve the first ever Norden and was sent to be placed on display in San Bernardino, California. After the Santa Fe sent the locomotive to San Bernardino for display, throughout the years, the locomotive will be forgotten as the many coming events happening in the country. Looks like this locomotive is going to be forgotten throughout the history book of the Santa Fe Railway.